Hey, Travel Quest Network, Bonnie Lee. Guess what? I'm here again from Cozumel. Sorry about that last drop off. One thing in the world of travel, you are in charge of nothing. You're not in charge of the wind, and we're not in charge of the Wi-Fi, so we think we got it right. But again, I'm joined with two destination wedding planners who are extraordinaires with Travel Quest. We have Kathy, and we have Lisa. And Kathy, where are you from, and what's your company?
By Rochester, Minnesota. My company is KM Travel, and I specialize in destination weddings and honeymoons.
Yep, she does too.
And I'm now in Shakopee, Minnesota, Simply Travel.
And Lisa Phillips is her name.
Oh, yeah. I'm Lisa.
Okay, I'm going to vouch for the group. We have not had anything to drink today. Oh, well, I had carrot juice and it was on my lips, so I got that removed really, really quickly. But we were talking about your, I'm maybe not necessarily favorite resorts for destination weddings, but maybe I should say the resorts and the resort chains that you believe offer best value, best service, best locations for your wedding couples, or even honeymoons. This could hold true for honeymoons as well. Which ones are your favorites, your go-tos?
My favorites are really the AM resorts, and that's the whole chain, anything from Zoetree down to Sunscape. Barcelos, the Rios, because they're all over, all different levels, and you can't box or the palaces because they have great packages for the wedding couples and their guests. Honeymoons, you have to remember you've got Sandals and Secrets and
Oh, there are way too
of
many.
those.
Lisa, who are your like go-tos? Do you have specific ones?
Well, it's the same, but AM Resorts for sure is a favorite chain of mine, and especially for groups. It's easy. They have an easy group department, so the guests of the weddings.
It is, and you know what? It is always about the bride and the groom. It has to be their resort, but in their choosing resorts,
They always want something that's affordable for their
for
guests.
the guests, otherwise they're going to be there alone.
Right, because they want as many people as possible to be able to join them, and they want something that works for the whole family.
So do you find that, I used to do destination weddings more than like 5 years ago, so what I always found to be challenging was to meet the expectation of the wedding couple and price-wise, and then to be able to meet the expectation that their guests can come as well. So how do you jockey that, like what the wedding couple, for instance, has pictured in their mind, and you know it's going to cost X number of dollars, but they have these guests that want to be able to come, and now the price point of what they want is actually bringing the price point for the guests. How do you like help them to balance that?
Well, I think the resorts that we talked about are all really affordable. And I think with the wedding packages for all of those, for the AM resorts, the Rios, the Barcelos, the wedding package is there. And the bride prints it out and she says, I get flowers, I get boutonnieres, I get cocktail, I receive this. So it's there, and she knows for that amount of money, that's what she's going to get. Then I try to fill in and say, that's a great wedding package, but remember, you have no photography. So you bring in your own photographer, you're going to use theirs, those kinds of things. For the guests, because that is a big concern these days for my brides and grooms. It's the bride's day and she knows it, but she wants the rest of the week to be for her guests, and it's going to be a party. So we look at all those resorts, and they're usually pretty affordable. And then we also, when I start working with the guests, say, I can make it affordable based on your budget or the vacation time that you have. Not everybody goes 7 days. Some,
Right.
Oh, this
some
is
go
true.
6, 5,
Right.
4.
And not
yeah.
not all of the guests are going to choose a presidential.
Right.
Right.
Somebody might.
Right.
Is that kind of what you do, Lisa? Do you give them the options? This is the perfect resort because price point here, price point here. Is that partly your conversation with the wedding couple?
Absolutely. And usually, it's funny because different maybe than Kathy, my focus and with the brides have always been about their guests.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really so concerned so much about what the cost is going to be for the wedding part of it.
Interesting.
They're
They're
more
about the
concerned
guest and
yeah.
the week and
You
what
know,
the fun
not
we're
that
going to
they- Not
have.
that they aren't concerned about what the wedding cost is going to be, but it's not usually their initial focus.
Yeah. And maybe I probably start that way. I always say I have kind of a destination wedding 101 class. If it's if it's on a phone, a consult on the phone, or if we meet someplace. And so I start out with the issues of, what's most important to them. And I might as well bring this up, what's important, the whole thing about a symbolic wedding versus a legal wedding.
Right.
And if they want
Right.
a legal
So
wedding, it has to
how,
be here or
okay,
there.
now because now we're like going to so many places.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's the point. That is the point of this discussion. Like, how did you learn all that stuff? That's my question. Is there a Destination 101 for travel professionals? But there isn't. Is there? Oh, I don't know. Is there a Destination 101 for us to learn?
Every resort brand has a destination wedding training of some sort.
Ah.
FAMs, yes, and FAMs, but they all want and have a part of this business. So, whether it's Rio, whether it's Barcelona, AM Resorts, they all will help you through this process. And there's a lot of training that goes into it. It's not just something that we gained overnight. No.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, not to be frustrated. You will never know everything.
Absolutely. It changes all the time.
Yeah, and most important thing to know is that you don't know everything.
Right.
Never be afraid to ask for help. Never be afraid to ask the BDM, all of those kinds of trainings. So have both of you done like the Rio training, the Barcelo training, the agent training? Have you done those things then? Find it to be do you find that to be very helpful in learning?
Extremely helpful. If it wasn't for that, really, we wouldn't have the knowledge, because and it does, as you changes all the time, so you have to keep training, not
Yes.
just one time.
So once you've done the training, I feel like I remember when I did all of the trainings, then you are included in communications from
Right.
that particular resort chain, because you have taken your time to take the training. They then will take time to invest in you, communications, potentially invitations to like a wedding fam or a honeymoon fam, or you're going to get updates on the emails and all of that kind of stuff.
AM Resorts especially, and Sandals also, they have their wedding fams. So if you've done a wedding with them, you get included with their fams.
And it's so important to actually go, I believe, to go on a wedding fam and watch it on the beach and see what's going on.
Travel Leaders also has a destination.
Oh, this is
wedding,
right. It's certification.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, and it's expensive.
Yes, and I also
Very
did.
expensive.
There's a
That
organi-
can I just say this? So would you say that the Travel Leaders Destination Wedding Training is 101? Or is that
It's-
heavy dutier than a 101? Is it a good place for somebody who wants to put their feet in?
It's a 101, but I don't think that you learn that much about specific resorts.
Okay.
It's their typical learning module where there's marketing plans and things like that.
Because there really are two sides to it. One side is the resorts and the wedding package and who's got what going on. Then there's the other side, that is the business side. What do we have to know about countries? What do you need to educate yourself on? So I guess there really are two very, very different
And they
opportunities.
have, this is new to Travel Leaders, but they now have destination wedding fams through Travel
This is
Leaders.
true, yes.
So that if you haven't sold a destination wedding with one of these chains and don't get a personal invite, you could maybe do a
Okay.
fam that route.
Because it's so important to be able to like feel the vibe and to see them on the beach, and to see the importance of what the agent has gone through to make that happen. It's so important. I'm sorry, Kathy, and I interrupted you
the
too.
other one that I belong to is a group that's the Destination Weddings and Honeymoon, DHSA.
SA is the best.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can't DHSAW or something. There's a
DWA.
W in there.
Yeah,
But
it's
we'll
Destination and it's
Lisa Sheldon.
Lisa Sheldon. So I will go in and I'll put a comment after the video and I'll tell you what it is. It's a lot of letters.
but you get a certain, if you saw my tagline, that's my tagline I'm playing on my emails, because I did their certification,
Yep.
which was part of the Travel Leaders, because if you do
Oh,
Travel
that's
Leaders,
right.
you have to do part of that.
So I think
That's
the
best great
the
email.
piece that is the takeaway here is education is not just a one-stop shop.
Right.
It's continual, and there's a lot of other different places you can go to. So now, Lisa, all these different resorts, they all have different packages. How do you guys keep track of who's got what going on? Like, what are my destination wedding packages? I'm at the Barcelo. Do you have a paper file? Do you log in? Like, what do you guys do to hang on to that knowledge?
Well, I log in and then I save out files, but I don't always do a wedding every year at the Barcelo. So when I go, like, for New Year, then I have to go in and look to see what's changed, because generally the price will change. Um, in my case, I have a very good relationship with the Barcelo wedding coordinators, and they seem to stick around. So I can, no, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. We know it. We know
You
it.
can lose a wedding planner, the wedding planning
Yeah.
year, and
Because you are in charge of nothing. When for travel professionals, we don't
Yeah.
control the darn thing. We are I think, the most versatile people in the world.
and so usually in the Barcelo case, I know the wedding planner, so I'll email them, or I may just, if I have issues, just call. And it's the same with the other ones. But I save it as a file, but then anytime it's a new file, because they generally change things up or down. Or
Do you update your education then every year?
Well, that's the thing, is we're talking about these files. We save our files too to the computer. We think we have it, but it turns out that things change so much that every time I just send it, I use the information I've saved as a general guideline, but I reach out to the coordinators directly.
Oh, that's a
ask them
really good
to
idea.
Send me updated every time I start a new wedding. So
Yeah, definitely use it
New wedding
as a
guide, because-
as a guideline,
Yeah.
a really good guideline.
Here's an interesting, I had a Royalton wedding. We didn't talk about Royalton. They're very good too. I had a Royalton wedding in September, and she had this great package because they had about 4 levels, and they built from, like, first kiss to dreams, or however it went. Okay, so I'm working with another potential bride for 2020, and I told her about the Royalton. I said, they have great wedding packages. I went in online, I called, and they sent me the new wedding packages. Uh-oh, totally different.
Yeah,
So
that's-
before
Yeah.
you speak,
Yeah.
you validate, always validate that what you believe is true is really and truly true, because
everything changes.
it changes, and then once you get the ball rolling. So tell me, how easy or hard is it to book the wedding date and the time? Of all of these guys, who do you think is like the easiest? That can you just go online and find a time, or
Well,
what?
all the AM Resorts,
is the
Barcelo.
easiest because
Yes.
it shows it online.
Yeah, but you still have to.
Yes, you
still
do.
have, because they're not always correct. You still have
Yeah.
to send the note to the wedding coordinator, which AM Resort, if you are a master agent, and you must be a master agent, right in there they have the best logins or website to go to, because it'll tell you the
It
resort.
does. It gives you everything.
And all
Like right here, we can find, if I needed to find the wedding coordinator for sequence or here, I would go to my AM Resorts, look at this location, and it tells me who the wedding coordinator is.
So
And
you
it's the
think
email.
AM is fairly simple, or really simple? Barcelo,
Great information for us.
great information. Yeah,
Barcelo,
yeah.
you can get online, but I usually email. Rio is very easy because they have weddings by Rio.
And
it's-
that is
that's-
online. I
that's
remember that
very
from when I
easy, yeah.
sold. How about the Hard Rock and the Palace that we chatted a bit about?
Well, I always call the Hard Rock or Palace number, and they'll direct you right to the wedding department, and they'll tell you right then, 2/20/20 is available at 5 o'clock.
Sandals and Beaches, how do you do those guys?
Call.
Just
for
give
sure,
them a quick call.
Yeah.
And so now I've got the wedding date and the time, and you've got the wedding couple, and everybody's ready to go. How do you hand off your wedding couple to the wedding coordinator, or do you handle all of the work? Lisa, what do you do?
Well, I usually hand them off to the wedding coordinator, but I do ask the bride what she prefers. I have been involved in the past with some that don't want to. Some brides really don't want to be part of. They just want you to do
Just
it.
show up.
Yes, they just want to show up. Others are very detail oriented, and it's too hard to stay in the middle. So I ask the wedding coordinator in that case to keep me copied so that I know of important dates, to make sure that there's. But
So you're saying potentially if the bride wants to work directly with the wedding coordinator, you hand them off.
Yes.
Now they're chatting together, but you say to the wedding coordinator, please make sure any email communication, keep me outlined so you know,
Yes.
like when they have to have their documents in, when all these things. So you can do that. And Kathy, what do you do
I
then?
probably take more of a hands-on approach because I love that part of it.
See,
I
what
like
this
to-
means is there is no good way and there is no bad way. There is just your way, and I think that's what makes you guys very successful. You found your path, you found your voice. So
I do, but I turn my bride over, but I'd like to be involved. You can have a bride that doesn't care, but it'll be one little issue, and you need to get, and the wedding coordinator's not getting back to the bride, and she's getting frustrated. That's when I step in. I will personally call and say, I need to talk to Christina. I need to talk to whomever. And, I had an incident with, it was the craziest thing about the color. The picture didn't look turquoise. And the wedding coordinator says, it really is turquoise, Kathy, don't worry. So I told my bride, don't worry, it really is turquoise. And it was.
well, that's because it's a picture, and you can have all kinds of different things. So do you find that most of your wedding couples, do they stay longer and continue a honeymoon, or is the whole wedding week, is that the wedding and the honeymoon? What do most people do? Like, what do they do? What do your people do, Kathy? Do they still do a honeymoon?
Well, let's say they're at the Barcelo and they're at just the regular Barcelo Maya Grand. They may the last 3 move over to the Palace just because it's right next door. And then their guests they can go see the guests if they're still there, but the guests
That
can't
was
see
always
them.
my thing.
Yeah.
You can hibernate or you can come out of hibernation. Yes. So some of them do. They might change room category within the resort, maybe change to a sister
or some
property.
will go from, like if it happens to be a Now, like the Now Sapphire, those brides may head over to a secret because there's so many secrets real close to the Now Sapphire.
How about you, Lisa?
Small percentage of my brides do a honeymoon afterwards. I
thought because you were so, because we were chatting a little bit before. I mean, I've known these two for a really long time, but we don't always sit and talk business. So when you were saying your wedding couples, it's really about the whole celebration. So that's what's most important to them.
Right.
So that's what I would have guessed. You two did exactly what I thought you would say, because that's what my people normally did. And your people, they all party and have a great time, and
it's all about the experience with their family.
And I have a groom for a wedding coming up in February at Iberis or Plymeta.
oh, see, there's another. We got Iberostar and Charisma we haven't even mentioned. Jeez.
Anyway,
I had a bride pick a wedding all because of the charisma, the design of the dinnerware, and
It's all about what that bride has seen, like what has sparked her imagination and made it happen. Yes, so I'm sorry, what were you saying about the Iberostar?
The groom says they're staying a week. The groom says everybody's coming home on Wednesday. They're staying till Friday. So anytime the guests call me, I said, I have to tell you, Greg wants everybody off the resort by Wednesday. The rest of the time is their honeymoon.
He's like, you can extend, but you're going to a different resort.
I did have a bride at one point too. She only wanted the guests there for 3 nights, period. That was it. I'm like, really? I mean, what if they want to extend and have it? Nope. 3 nights. That was it. And they did stay on at that resort. Actually, they did move to a different resort. I mean, I can count maybe 3 that moved to a different resort or did a.
I always just
3 nights.
The difference is 3 nights. You're coming, you're staying 3, and you are going home, and that's the extent of it. So, do you have any tips for someone who is not new to travel, let's say, but who does do travel, but has never really dipped their toe into destination weddings, but now a friend is having one or something? Countries, do you have any tips for what countries maybe are easier to get married in or not? The different types of weddings like we were talking about now, because that's more like the foundation of the actual wedding itself. Where do you learn about that? What would be the tips you would give to somebody who wants to really start learning that? Is it more studying the countries or what?
Boy, because I don't know how I know it, but I just know that the easiest weddings are symbolic weddings, and you can get married where they walk down on the beach, they have the same wedding as a legal wedding. They even sign a paper. Everything is still the same.
So you're saying the guests for the bride
the
who
moms and the dads don't
yes,
even need
the
to know.
bride who is looking for easy, or the groom or the wedding couple, whatever it might be, who's really looking for simple and doesn't want to have to fill out all this paperwork.
Or blood work.
Or blood
pay
work.
$500 or $600 more. Anytime you do a legal wedding, you're paying more money.
You've got to have the document translated from Spanish into English. There's a lot of reasons why you really want to understand the country, and then just having symbolic, because symbolic, they get married at home and then they come and nobody does have to know.
And usually the wedding packages, when you're hooked into a resort and you're reading all about the weddings, they will tell you exactly what is required. If you're coming in a symbolic wedding, you have to be here only a couple days ahead. If you're getting
That's
legal,
true, yes.
You have to be in Mexico, you have to, in one case, you had to be there like 3 days ahead of time. Your witnesses had to be with you, so because they wanted to see their passports and stuff.
So
usually
it
when
really
you're reading about
is.
a wedding package, you can see the.
It really is a time and a money saver then, if you really want to be able to talk that with your wedding couple.
Except Jamaica.
Yeah, Jamaica's
Easy to get.
One way or another.
Yeah.
Well, any tips for survival?
Well, I think you have to love what you do.
You do,
I
yes.
do. That's kind of my cup of tea. That's my. And you know, it's very interesting because Lisa and I have had discussions over the years, and we actually kind of do things a little different, but they all work out.
It is, yeah.
It does. And it is different for each situation.
Yeah, you find your way. So what, do you have a tip?
Oh, well, of course, everybody. Kathy, it's easy for her to say love what you do because she is focused on one thing. So, but I think that most people, well, I don't know, in my business, it just came across. It wasn't something that I
you don't market yourself.
Well, I do now.
But
initially,
originally,
it was a client that I had that wanted to get married. My first wedding was in Punta Cana. Decided it was a rewarding experience, and so I think that people, as they build their clientele, it might just drop into their lap, and it might be something that they can.
Yeah. So if it drops into your lap, I think you
ask for help.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
Don't like.
It's not something that you can't.
Don't
do.
just jump in, but ask for help. There's so many resources out there that you just really, really know, and have a really good conversation with your wedding couple, I think. Because I loved it when I sold weddings.
Training.
I did love it. Training. And I loved the training. I loved everything about it. So you're the one training that I think really is fabulous is the master agent at Amstar. It gives you so much education on all of their products, and they have a lot of different brands. It gives you the opportunity to, if you want to go to the resorts, to visit them, which you should. Really some great rates that you're able to go and do that with. But I can't think of much else because we don't want to scare people much.
My first wedding was a beaches wedding.
With Sandals, or the Sandals family brand.
Before I was with Bonnie, and honestly, I tried to do as much homework. I was calling, and I was just very nervous about it. But in that case, the beaches and Sandals wedding coordinators are really good. Well,
they hold your hand.
They really take over.
Yeah. They
really
hold your hand. I remember I used to, no matter how many weddings I did, I was always like, hi, this is Bonnie Lee, and this is like my first wedding, and I really need your help. And they were like, I'm right there.
Yeah.
So I always just said I knew, just in case I didn't want to sound too stupid in case I missed something. But thanks, you guys. I know it was our day at the resort, and they took some beach time in the wind and everything. But thanks. If you have any questions, just post them up. We'll go back and try to figure it out. We'll get the name of that organization and actually type the real live thing in there for you. Yes. Hey, DWHSA. Now we got it. I still will put it in there, though. So thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.